Now that Peyton Manning is officially a member of the Denver Broncos, the attention turns to Tim Tebow and where he'll be playing next season. What are you hearing, Hub?
You know, Adam, I've checked with all the usual suspects, all the teams that people are hearing may have an interest in Tim Tebow, and the response I'm getting is over my dead body. This is one of these deals where there is an NFL owner or two out there who are going to consider forcing their general manager and their head coach to welcome him because he will sell tickets. But as a quarterback, as a backup quarterback or a starter, there is not one of the 31 teams that is interested in making that trade right now.
It seems like he's going to end up going somewhere, and it's hard to envision him going to a team planning to be a backup. You know, with the groundswell of support that you hear from the Tebow fans like we saw in Denver, I don't think he can go somewhere and back up and not create just a huge controversy.
Well, here's the really interesting thing that I don't think people are focusing on. John Elway didn't just pull off a coup by signing Peyton Manning. He created one of the greatest escape acts of all time, because after Tebow took him where he took him, and we know what his following is like in the Denver area, to be able to get out from underneath in a positive way. Now, if you're one of the other 31 teams, there's no Peyton Mannings left to rescue you. Why would you do this? Why would you open yourself up to this kind of pressure? When you talk to NFL coaches, to scouts, right now he does not project as a quarterback. Now, Tim Tebow is a great kid, and if he is willing to either stay in Denver, which is I think what the Broncos should do, or go somewhere else as a slash-type player, hoping to develop into a quarterback down the road, then maybe you've got something you consider. But for the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Bucks, the Dolphins have already said no. To bring him in the quarterback derby, it just makes no sense, because you're putting yourself right into the mess that the Broncos just extricated themselves from.
We talked about the possibility of staying in Denver. John Elway even said that they're looking into the possibility of trading him. I'm not sure what you could get, what kind of value in return. How likely is it that he could stay in the Mile High City?
You know, I've been doing some regular appearances on KOA Radio in Denver, which is the voice of the Broncos, and they said Tuesday morning before the press conference with Peyton Manning that the polls were running 70% against the move of bringing in Manning if it meant trading Tim Tebow. They've got to consider the possibility that maybe the only win here for them is they're the ones who convinced him to be a slash-type player. I think that Peyton Manning would take him under his arm. He's that kind of guy, and maybe he eventually does learn to be a quarterback, but they've got to commit to Peyton Manning's system, and that means he can't play quarterback, he being Tim Tebow, in Denver or anywhere else anymore in that system.
Peyton Manning is the future for the next couple of years for the Denver Broncos. Maybe Tim Tebow could stay there, end up learning behind him, being the backup, and eventually becoming the guy there. Who knows?
You know, so much of what Tebow brings is positive if it's channeled into a positive football aspect. But him as a quarterback right now is not positive as a football aspect for your team.
We'll just have to see. It's all going to shake out somehow. It sounds like he could be on the move. We'll be watching very closely. You can follow it at ProFootballWeekly.com.